Hey everyone, today we're in Oklahoma City at the Resurrection Cemetery. This is a Catholic cemetery, but you will see people from all sorts of denominations in this cemetery. It's a well-maintained cemetery, and I've been here before when we did the history of the B.C. Clark jingle. We were in this cemetery, but we're here to tell the story of one family, the Wolf family, and it's quite a sad and tragic story. So this is a really well-maintained cemetery, and it's one of my favorite cemeteries to visit around Christmas time because you can see all the Christmas decorations here. They'll take these down February 1st, but they really go all out in this cemetery. It is always well visited. Lots of flowers. People visit on every single occasion, not just Memorial Day and Veterans Day. But they go all out, like you can see solar powered lights right here on this little Christmas tree. And you'll see some people put live Christmas trees in here, so it really is a great cemetery to wander through and walk around. A lot of veterans in here. We've been in here before, but like I said, the main reason why we were here today is to tell the story about the Wolf family. They were a family living in Nichols Hills, which is a prominent suburb of Oklahoma City, and the family had been described by neighbors as being the typical all-American family. They were well liked, and no one had anything negative to say about them. The father was a medical doctor in the area, and he worked for the Saints Medical Group, and then of course he was married to his loving wife Mary, and together the couple had one son, a young 9-year-old third grader who attended school at Christ the King, and his name was Tommy. And he was very active in school and in his church. He played football and was in the Boy Scouts, and everything seemed fine with this family until the early morning hours of November 16th, 2009. Mary, at about 3:55 in the morning, went over to her neighbor's house and started beating on the door and ringing the doorbell. And the neighbors, of course, didn't know who it was. It was early in the morning, and they had been instructed by the neighborhood association and the police to not answer the door when things like that happened, to just call the police. Since they didn't know who it was and what was going on, that's exactly what they did. They dialed 911. And Mary eventually went back over to her house when she realized that no one was going to answer the door. She then dials 911 herself. The dispatch picks up the call, but nothing is being said. There's no conversation whatsoever. Mary then calls 911 for a third time. This is a very frantic call. You can hear her talking, and then there's somebody in the background that just basically says he's got the devil in him. You can actually hear this phone call online, and it's strange. It's very strange. But eventually Mary talks to the operator and says, "My son is stabbed." And then the operator says, "Your son is down?" And she says, "My son he's dead." And she's visibly upset, and rightfully so. I would be too if that was my child and you've witnessed something like this. But she then replies and says, "Send an ambulance, hurry." And of course the ambulance does come. So do the police. And when the police get there, they go in the house and they go into the kitchen area, and that's where they find Dr. Wolf in the kitchen, and he's kind of down on the ground covering Tommy. They actually didn't even know that this was young Tommy, but the police see him with a steak knife in hand, tell him to turn around and to drop this weapon, at which time Tommy actually moves, and then the doctor just proceeds to jump on top of him again, and he keeps repeating over and over, he's got the devil in him, and you know it. And so the doctor was using steak knives on Tommy, and he had gotten him with such force that he actually bent this steak knife, and he got him in the chest and then in the head. And the officers wrestle with the doctor and take him to the ground and put him in handcuffs, and just trying to save this little boy. And of course Tommy died, but the doctor was handcuffed, and poor Tommy, he suffered bad wounds. And poor Mary, she's there, and she's got cuts on her hands, and she tried to stop her husband from doing this and could not, but she was overpowered by the doctor. And this doctor had just went off of the deep end completely. And there's an airplane there. There's an airport just south here called Wiley Post, and that's what that is. I've also done a story on Wiley Post, so we visited that particular airport before. But the doctor was arrested, and he was held without bail on first-degree murder charges of young Tommy. And he really, I guess, didn't know what was going on. It was later found out that he suffered from bipolarism. I don't think the wife knew about that, but she did know about bouts of depression, I guess, and so did the family, his extended family, and even where he worked. So this all goes to trial, and you can actually hear Mary call her husband while he's sitting at the Oklahoma County Jail. And they have a phone conversation, and she basically says to him that she could never forgive him, and she hopes he didn't do this on purpose and stuff like that. Very brave to do that. I'm not sure I would have the guts to talk to someone like that, but I think she was just trying to find out answers for herself. And of course she's telling him that he took her young Tommy away, and she can't forgive him, and he's crying hysterically on the phone. And it's very strange to listen to, and when you listen to it, you don't get the sense that he's a grown man or a doctor. He's more like a little kid. But anyways, this goes to trial, and he's found not guilty by reason of insanity, at which time Mary decides to divorce her husband, and then also sues the Saints Hospital group for knowing that this went on and that he had depression, and yet they did nothing about it, at least in her opinion. And then she sues his psychiatrist that he had been seeing because he didn't do anything more to stop this depression or intervene. And then she also sues his family. He had a brother who is still a medical doctor and a stepfather who was a medical doctor, and she felt that they didn't do anything knowing that he had depression. He was actually trying to self-medicate himself on Chantix, of all things, which is, if you know anything about that, that's what people use to quit smoking. And it's not going to work. One of the warning labels on it, one of the warnings on the warning label says to not use if you suffer from depression. And he wasn't abiding by that. Mary claimed that the family knew he was using that and didn't do anything to stop it whatsoever. Now he does go to a psychiatric hospital in Veneta, Oklahoma, and just 2 years later, the psychiatrist there recommends him to be released. Of course, to this day, he has not been released whatsoever. He's still in there. It's going to take a judge's order to get him out of there, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But we're here to visit young Tommy, and this is the area right here. You can kind of just see these trees here. There's a chapel and mausoleum right over there, and then you can see this upright marker right here with the cross on it. Now this is first one we'll come to. There's a lot of Wolf family members. They're like on this row and even the next row over there. So there's quite a bit of Wolf family members, and many of them are veterans, officers that were in World War II and Korea, even both conflicts. But this is the stepfather here, and his mother, the doctor that killed his son. she remarries this particular medical doctor here, Thomas E. Nix. So he's one of the ones that was sued by Mary. And you can see he was born in 1928 and died in 2021. Right over here is young Tommy right here. You can see that this is out. We'll straighten this. Like I said, when I'm in a cemetery, I always try to straighten all this stuff. If I see anything out of place or mixed up, dirty, things like that, I do try to straighten it. And so we'll put that back in here. We've had some super windy days here in Oklahoma, so you can see flowers that have blown across the road here and throughout the cemetery. And I'll spend a little bit of time straightening that. All these Christmas decorations will come down here on February 1st. But anyways, this is the final resting place for young Tommy. You can see here Thomas S. and then in quotation marks Tommy. September 1st, 2000 to November 16th, 2009. And so sad. I can't imagine the fear in his eyes as he's seeing his father do this to him. This is somebody that he should have looked up to, and I'm sure he did, and someone that he respected. And to sit here and think of his dad saying stuff like that to him and then hurting him like that. I've heard some reports that he was saying, you know, I'm not the devil. You know, it's me, Dad. I'm Tommy. And his dad had just lost it. And so rest in peace, Tommy. I also wanted to leave some flowers here. And this is such a sad story. I was researching another story and happened to come across this and found out that he was in this cemetery. I remember this story very well, but I did not know where he was located. So we'll just leave these flowers here. White flowers, tulips for remembrance, but also that he was innocent. He was just a young child. And right next to him is Thomas C., 1932 to 1961. And it says down at the bottom underneath, because he was a veteran, Lieutenant Junior Grade, United States Navy. This was the doctor's father. And then when he died, that's when his mother, Suzanne, went ahead and married Dr. Nix. And so I guess Dr. Nix was an inspiration to both of the boys that they had, and they became doctors. Like I said, there's a lot of Wolf family members in this cemetery, and this is all of them in a row here. You can see how many are veterans. There's even some right over here. And like I said, they are World War II veterans and Korea veterans, and even a few of them are World War II and Korea veterans. I mean, they participated in both wars. Now, just a little ways over from Tommy is another grave that I wanted to show that's quite interesting. See, it's almost to this marker right here where they're burying the cross. There are a lot of veterans in here, but this one will just certainly catch your eye if you're walking through. Forrest W. Jones. He's next to his wife, Lydia L. Jones. It says warrant officer, retired U.S. Army, 20 years veteran, World War II and Korea, March 6, 1922 to January 29, 1989. If you look on there, there's a little emblem or medallion that's on the marker there, and it says a Pearl Harbor Survivor Association member. So think of the history that this guy saw that fateful day on December 7th, 1941. And he's here next to his wife, who was born in 1921 on January 3rd and died on January 17th, 1999. Like I said, this is a great cemetery to walk through. A lot of veterans. It is what they call a memorial garden, so all of the markers are flat for the most part. You'll see some benches. There might be a few upright markers over in that area, but for the most part, it's all flat. So it is kind of difficult to find somebody that you're looking for specifically. I know I've been through that before in the cemetery. That's going to do it for today's story. It's certainly a sad one, and my heart goes out to young Tommy. May he rest in peace. My heart also goes out to the mother who had to endure that horrible scene of seeing her son taken by the man that she married and loved and supported for so many years. Hopefully we don't run across too many stories like this, because it's certainly one that is sad and depressing in many ways. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Listen to me. I have them on the way. What is going on? My son is down. Your son is down. My son is down. Oh, your son is dead.
I was wrong. The words I spoke, I've been saying many things that are hurtful. Your tear-shed eyes, your fragile mind, 'cause I'll be dancing on my own tonight. I know December's hard to cope with. I know I caused you lots of pain, but I did not mean to let you down this way. But I know deep inside I let your smile fade away. I let your smile fade away. I remember when we used to lay on the grass and watch the sun go away. But now you're gone, I let you pass by. I know I've said so many things that are hurtful. I know December's hard to cope with. I know I caused you lots of pain, but I did not mean to let you down this way. But I know deep inside I let your smile fade away. The words I spoke, I've been saying many things that are hurtful.